experiencia disco más variada. Virtual Dream, en exclusiva por Punta Cana Hits. Sábados y domingos, 10 de la noche.
Del corazón a la punta en tu tienda y que siempre estamos dispuestos a buscar lo mejor para ti. Estamos ubicados en la avenida Barceló y en la carretera Verón-Punta Cana. Recuerda que tenemos venta por WhatsApp. Ya no te tienes que mover, nosotros te lo entregamos. Siempre contigo, tu tienda IKEA, más por menos.
Porque compro de todo y me sale más barato. Me va mejor.
Porque me da para la medicina y me sobra para la comida. Me va mejor.
Porque todo está más limpio. Me va mejor.
Porque todo está más fresco. Me va mejor.
Porque veo más variedad. Me va mejor.
Porque me brinda la ayuda que necesito. Me va mejor.
Porque hago mis compras más rápido. Me va mejor.
¿Para qué quieres más? Si aquí te va mejor.
En salud, a mí me va mejor.
Punta Cana Hits vive por ti. Si te quieres comunicar con nosotros, llama a nuestra emisora al 809-831-3333. 809-831-3333. 809-831-3333.
Okay, hello everybody and welcome to What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio. And Franklin, you want to say hello to someone?
Yes, I sorry for my interruption. Yes, it's because somebody that is very important for this club. Yes, it's Reyes. Reyes is from Infotep. You know, the Infotep is the high school for the people wanna work in all the area. Then they have amazing programs to teach different things. Then they do good job. Then I meet Reyes, and she was so nice during the showcase that we do in the show trade.
In the trade show.
Trade show. In the trade show of the date.
Yes.
In the convention center of Barcelona was amazing. Then thank you so much, Miss Reyes, to listen us. She's on the radio station right now. Then
nice.
I lead you to continue with the program. Go ahead.
Excellent. All right. So welcome everyone and hello, Miss Reyes. And welcome everyone to What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio. And tonight I have a special guest here, Joanna Angelites Cacaves.
Oh, perfect.
And she is originally from Toronto, Canada, and has been in many different locations in the world. She has a very diverse and interesting background, coming from main part of it being interior design. And she decided to move here to the Dominican Republic about 3 months ago. And when she came, thinking that, the housing market's booming, a lot of things happening, might start, doing interior design here. But when she came here, something big happened to her that put her on a completely different course, and saw the inhumane and treatment of animals, especially cats and dogs, and the overpopulation of them. And so she has been working diligently to try and get government funding for these animals. Like in the United States or in Canada, we have the Humane Society, we have animal shelters and things to that nature that are government funded, but here that does not exist. So welcome, Joanna.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. And, there's a lot to kind of talk about here. So why don't you fill us in a little bit more on your story and background and how you ended up coming here. I gave a little bit of that, but a little bit more.
Yeah, I used to live in Puerto Rico, so it was kind of a similar background in terms of the island and everything. But I saw the opportunity to come here. I left Southern California after exiting sort of this toxic relationship and going back to Toronto to visit with my family. And my idea was that I was going to go to the Greek islands, and that never happened. So I really wanted to be on an island again. I really wanted to be close to the water, and that's just a part of me. I love to be in nature. So when I started researching, it was so interesting because in my mother's house, I saw a photo of me carrying 2 birds on my hand, and it said below the picture, it said Punta Cana. I said, where was Punta Cana again? I couldn't even remember because I had been here 15 years ago, and I had been all over the Caribbean. I used to love traveling in the Caribbean because I hated winters. So being in Toronto and New York in wintertime, I would always take off and go to the Caribbean. And then I started researching Dominican Republic just there and then, and that was about, I guess, the middle of November, and by January 31st, I was on the plane with a one-way ticket. Yeah. So
one-way ticket. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Where in Toronto?
In the beaches area.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where
my aunt is in Richmond Hill. That's why I asked.
Okay. So I grew up in Greek Town, of course.
Okay. Yes. So you come here.
Yeah.
And your original thought is, okay, all of this construction going on, all of these things happening, let me see what I can do with my expertise in interior design. And what happened?
Oh, well, I think about 4 weeks into living here, about a month I was living here, I just went around the corner. And of course, I'd seen many stray dogs and cats in the area. But this particular night, I went to go feed one of them. And then all of a sudden, I had 10 puppies running up to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And this is about 2 blocks away from where I live. So it was very, very shocking. But at the same time, I wasn't shocked because like I mentioned, I lived in Puerto Rico. I lived in California where I was already working with a lot of rescues, and I tried working with people in Puerto Rico as well. And one of the reasons I left Puerto Rico was because of the animals and the neglect and the welfare. That there was no animal welfare there for them. So I'd seen it's changed and it's progressed since that was 2012 to 2015. But I honestly feel like this has taken me back to where Puerto Rico was in 2012, where there's really not too many organized, privately funded organizations to help with the animal welfare. And the ones that are here, like DCDR, that do a wonderful job, DCDR, Dogs and Cats of Dominican Republic.org, they do a wonderful job. But then again, it's far and few spay and neutering events, 1 per month.
Okay.
Because, they're only able to do so much with the funding that they have. And so that's why I'm advocating for government funding, is because we need the funding in place so we're able to do things in mass production. So spaying, neutering events consistently. We're able to have animal shelters. We have numbers that people can call, and the government funded program makes it consistent.
Right.
We know how much money that we have to spend.
Right.
So we can plan for the year ahead.
Yeah. I mean, and that's still, even with that, you could still have donations and people who want to help.
Volunteers.
And donations stuff, but it also helps. And something else that you said before as well is that it also gives more people, the ability to have jobs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you do anything with the infrastructure, when you create better roads, when you have regular trash pickups, everything, all these are government funded programs that allow for a lot of employment and probably more people who are interested in helping the animals, not just at, in terms of helping in animal shelters, but also veterinarian clinics. That
Absolutely.
would be very needed. Yeah.
And that could also lead to more young people wanting to go into the veterinary, field and things to that nature. I know that a lot of animals are poisoned.
Yes. I mean, just finding out and doing my research about how the animals are animal controlled, if you want to say.
Yeah.
I know that, I've heard these things where they're poisoned on the roads, where or inside the gated communities, or by the hotels where they just don't want to see them, or they're not killed humanely. And I understand we have a big problem, but I don't think the problem is to go in and just keep murdering these animals without having a plan in place to stop their reproduction, because they are animals. They don't know better.
Right.
I'm sure they don't know they can't feed 10 of their little puppies or
I know.
cats, you know.
And it's so sad.
Oh, and so sorry, I digressed from my story. So when I saw these 10 puppies run up to me, it sort of changed my trajectory that night. You know, where, you know, I wanted to work with a real estate agency. I wanted to get into more interior design jobs. And then all of a sudden my heart just broke and I said, what do I do now? I said, you know, I fed them for about a week. I posted them online for adoptions and this and that with very little feedback, a lot of negativity. I still get a lot of negativity.
Well, people are always going to be negative. You have to not listen to the hate.
Exactly. I mean, because for me, I just feel like apathy is the greatest destruction to human evolution.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to say I can't do it. I will say I will do my best. I will try. I know it's a big hill.
So what would people say
Well, they would say things like, oh, the government never changes. Oh, that won't help.
Yeah. Well, that's
a
why,
waste of time.
because you have that negative, like, it never, you know,
right.
Just because they can't doesn't mean you can't. Right?
Exactly. I mean, I'm not one to say I can't do anything. I'll try anything.
Absolutely.
And so, but somebody telling me that, you know, I can see it. I've shared this petition amongst thousands of people online and social media. I don't have a big sphere of influence, especially here in Dominican Republic. I mean, I just arrived, but with influencers like yourself and other people, you know, it can grow. And that's why I'm taking this opportunity.
How many signatures do you need?
We need 10,000 really to take it seriously, to take it to Congress so they can take us seriously.
Do they have to be in the Dominican Republic?
No, it's a global petition.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and it's a global petition because tourism accounts for 20% of our GDP. So it's huge. So it's interesting. The tourists are the ones that are most affected by the animals, more so than the people or the locals. And I think there's just a desensitization there. Yeah. And of course, it could be also funding, you know, financially. They can't help. They want to help. They can't help. I understand that. I'm not judging anyone. But there is, you know, when I say, can you please help us to sign this? It's like, yeah, sure, no. And then they don't.
Well, it's only a signature.
It's just a signature. There's no money involved.
It literally took me 1 minute. To click on the link. And then there's a thing that, like, if you wanted to donate, you could, but
no, the donation is actually for the petition, I guess, to help it get more visible. So we're not taking donations there. Okay. On the petition. Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's no contribution needed.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
So I just, because I didn't have time to read, you know, what it would go towards or anything like that. But the signature, it lets the signature go through.
Right. It's
and I mean,
a signature.
It's literally 1 minute. You put your name, you put your email, and you click send.
Yeah, if you care about animals, dogs or cats. And here's where, you know, I kind of say it's selective caring too, I feel like, because if these were Pomeranians or Yorkies sitting in a trash yard, you know, these 10 dogs, puppies I'm taking care of, they'd be gone in 2 minutes. I wouldn't even have to advertise them.
Oh, because they're big?
Well,
so
no,
the ones that you have are
they're
big.
not big. They're tiny. They're only like they'll be less than 20 pounds, but it's just the type of breed. I'm saying it's a selective caring, right? So they're not the fluffy little teacup type.
Gotcha.
Say.
That you can carry around in your purse.
Yeah, or just, you know, a higher end branded sort of dog where I feel like, you know, we're not here to brand these dogs and cats. They're
but you're also not asking people to personally adopt them. No. You're asking people to just sign a petition for funding to help them find the right home, have the right marketing. Get it out there to the right people, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to own a dog.
Yes, I mean, there's more people today we know that are having pets than children. You know, this is sort of what's been happening, I guess, in a trend for myself. I don't have children; I do have pets, but it's just something that's been trending. So I can see this being, you know. I can't see this not being important to the development of the island.
Right. And I think too, like, especially in this area, when you think about it, like, I don't know anywhere that you could go and get a dog or a cat if you wanted one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
there's no pet stores.
Right.
There are pet stores, but they do grooming and But you're right. I haven't seen that. I think there's probably breeders. I'm guessing there are probably breeders on the island. And then adopting a dog or a cat from Dominican Republic to the United States or to Canada requires some extra paperwork. And, and certain times of the year that they can go, because they can't go in cargo in the hot summer months, or in the deep freeze months
of the
to
winter
certain states.
So I actually have a friend in California. He flies Wings of Rescue.
Oh, he does.
Yes.
I follow him. He's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they are, I know he flies all over the place to do that. So who knows? Maybe I can send him a message, and he might.
Nathan, the cat guy, just got back to me today. He's a big influencer, and he flew with them once too. Yeah, and he said, I said, please come to Dominican Republic. I'm on everybody's page.
Not just that, but
I'm
also
soliciting everybody.
But also, they're good people who would say, hey, just will you sign this petition?
Share the petition. Sign the petition.
That's an easy way to get 10,000 people.
Yeah, so right now we're at 200.
And 201 now.
201. Thank you very much. So we're on our way. We're on our way. And I mean, the more, opportunities I have to talk about it on the public stage, like yourself here, and other podcasts and so forth, I just want people to sort of really understand that this has nothing to do with me being the face of it.
Right.
Because I don't want it, maybe sometimes I might feel a backlash, someone saying, well, who is she? She just got here. She's an expat. She's not really a local. Like, she's telling us what,
You're just going to have all the negative people.
Right.
And you just need to surround yourself with those people that are, people just like to hate on those that are trying to make a difference. And it's, you just have to let it go. Because
I have a strong shoulders.
Yes.
So
because if you're really going to make a difference, you have to have strong shoulders.
Yes.
Because they're just going to come at you with, those that are negative are just going to come at you with full force.
Yeah, and that's okay, because I feel like the negativity just builds my fire more. So I'm okay with that. In fact, I was about to walk away from these puppies before I started the petition, and I just said, okay, that's it. I can't anymore, because they're going to rely on me. I'm going to have 8 dogs and nobody wants to adopt them. I had been taking care of them for almost a month at that point. And then I just, one of them got hit by a car, and it was the second one, and there was nobody to call. It was just, where's Joanna? Where's the gringo? And, let's get her. And another driver, a local driver there, we took the puppy, and we had to go so far because there was no emergency clinic open after, no clinics open after 5 p.m. in Bavaro. And it was just, it was heartbreaking. So that's what really built the fire to start the petition after that happened. And I was about to walk away, and I said, no, I'm not going to walk away anymore.
No.
Yeah. I'm going to at least do my best.
I mean, think about that. And you can have an animal hospital, and you can have something like that supported. Did you ever try and close your ears, Franklin? Did you ever try and, look at other prominent foundations from this area?
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. But I have, this is a stepping stone for me, because I've only just had the petition out now for about 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's still fairly new, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot more videos to make.
It might be worthwhile having a meeting with them.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And, but yeah, if we can, Ramon Ramirez, if we can get him over here. Ramon Antonio Ramirez, is that yes.
Manolito, if you're listening.
That's what I heard is his name. Yeah, I would love to have a conversation with him, and just, he could be the first political mayor of of the island that's actually caring about
starting an animal hospital.
Yeah. Animal hospital, spaying, neutering, all sorts of things that could be provided, starting with Punta Cana.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that what you're doing is, everybody's heart and everybody's what they're built for, what their love is, mine's education, mine's kids and education, yours is animals. That's why, God made us in all these different ways, because our heart and our passion it's really an obsession, right? That we want to, by having different people who love to do these things and make a difference in the world, it is going to make a difference in the world. And so I don't believe that you were brought here and all of a sudden those dogs came up to you that night and it was just a coincidence, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. In fact, I was just, like I said, I was about a day away from signing a contract with the real estate agency. And I just said, okay, this kind of changes things for me because I don't think Punta Cana needs another real estate agent as much as they need an advocate for animal welfare.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do agree with that. And I think that, any way that I can help, just putting the information out there. I have a school full of, and the first time you sent me the information,
That's right.
I
didn't have the petition out there.
Yeah, and I did send it out to parents. So I will have it sent out again, the petition at least. And if you're still looking for families to adopt, then I will put that out again too.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'll send you recent photos.
That would be great. And, it's word of mouth.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah.
That's 100 parents, right? That who knows who they know. They might know somebody who were just talking to somebody the night before. And that's what we were just talking about in the Spanish show about, it's the connection. It's the network of people that, hey, I know this person. They said they're looking for a dog, or, oh, I know this person. And, they're looking to do something, or they're interested in this too. And they have money.
Yes.
Great. You don't know. You never know.
Yeah, it would be great to have an event, to raise more awareness for it too. And we'll take it from there. That's the next plan, is to do an event.
Good.
Yep.
Good. That's great.
Yeah.
And so even with that, it might be something that we can promote at one of our events too, just to, have a mention of it or something to that effect, so that this way, more people are aware of it.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's nice meeting you,
it was
Christy.
very nice to meet you. Very nice to have you. So how can people get in touch with you if they do want to, if they're listening or they listen to this later and they want to help or learn more information?
So we do have the link for the petition, which maybe you can put on to your radio station or something. But if they want to just contact me through Facebook or Instagram, might be the easiest to remember. It's Jojo Angel. So JoJoAngel. They can reach me that way. And then the petitions will be there as well with all the links.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Me.
All right. We'll be back with my next guest, Raymond. So don't go anywhere.
Aquí tenemos toda la música, noticias y programas en vivo que buscas en la radio. Descarga ya nuestra aplicación Punta Cana Hits en Play Store y App Store. Punta Cana Hits en Play Store y App Store. Punta Cana Hits vive por ti.
Tu maquinaria pesada se detuvo. Tu camión necesita repuestos urgente. No pierdas tiempo buscando. En Ángel Ramírez Truck Parts somos especialistas en repuesto para camiones, donde poseemos el inventario más completo de toda la zona. Fabricamos mangueras hidráulicas a la medida, con calidad y resistencia garantizada. Baterías para todo tipo de vehículos. Lubricantes del más alto rendimiento que protegen tu motor en las condiciones más exigentes. Accesorios y todos los rodamientos que necesitas para una reparación segura y eficiente. Todo en un solo lugar. Estamos ubicados en la avenida Barceló, Plaza Chinatown, próximo a la entrada del Ayuntamiento de Verón. Contamos con el servicio a domicilio más rápido y eficiente en nuestra entrega puerta a puerta, evitando que tengas que movilizarte de tu lugar de trabajo. Llámanos ahora mismo a los teléfonos 809-455-3265 y 849-848-6275. Ángel Ramírez Truck Parts. Potencia, resistencia y respaldo. Te esperamos.
¿Buscas expandir tus horizontes en República Dominicana? El éxito de tu negocio requiere las conexiones correctas y la información más precisa. Llega Guía Empresarial RD. La plataforma definitiva donde los proveedores, emprendedores y grandes corporaciones se encuentran en un solo lugar. Todo lo que tu empresa necesita está a un clic de distancia. Optimiza tus compras, encuentra nuevos socios estratégicos y proyecta tu marca hacia el futuro. Somos el motor digital que impulsa el crecimiento de nuestra economía nacional. Guía Empresarial RD. El mundo empresarial dominicano a un clic.
Durante años, sectores de Santo Domingo Oeste, Los Alcarrizos y Pantoja estuvieron lejos, no solo en el mapa, también en el tiempo. Lejos del trabajo, lejos de las oportunidades, lejos del desarrollo. Obligando a salir cuando todavía estaba oscuro, para poder llegar a tiempo. Y a volver tarde a casa cuando tus ilusiones ya estaban durmiendo. Hoy cambiamos esa historia. Ahora miles de familias vivirán a 1 metro de distancia del progreso, de viajar seguros y ganar más tiempo de vida. 7 kilómetros de vías, 5 estaciones nuevas, un sistema moderno, iluminado y eficiente, haciendo que lo que antes parecía distante, ahora se recorra en minutos. Sigamos cambiando.
Gobierno de la República Dominicana.
¿Buscas el lugar ideal para tu negocio en Friusa, Bávaro? En el corazón de Bávaro, Plaza Progreso. Es un centro comercial reconocido, seguro y bien ubicado. En Avenida Estados Unidos, donde los negocios conectan con la gente todos los días. Con espacio para consultorios, oficinas, entidades financieras, tiendas y servicios. Además de amplio parqueo, seguridad 24 horas, excelente acceso y gran flujo en la zona. Si quieres establecer tu negocio en un punto estratégico y con proyección, tu espacio está en Plaza Progreso. Plaza Progreso, ubicación que trabaja por tu negocio.
En el Gobierno de la República Dominicana, RD Vial y el Ministerio de Obras Públicas y Comunicaciones trabajamos para brindarte más iluminación, mayor presencia en las carreteras y asistencia 24/7 a través del 511 para que cada viaje sea más seguro y para que ahorres más tiempo en el camino. Además, seguimos trabajando en nuevos proyectos viales para conectar más comunidades, regiones y destinos. Vías que cambian vidas.
¿Hambre a cualquier hora? En el Brokel Restaurant siempre estamos listos para ti. Avenida Barceló, Plaza Cova, antes de la entrada de los hoteles Barceló. Abiertos de lunes a lunes de 7 de la mañana a 11 de la noche. Disfruta nuestros platos ejecutivos del día por tan solo 450 pesos con bebida incluida, de 12 del mediodía a 3 de la tarde. Desayunos deliciosos y almuerzos completos todos los días. Llámanos 809-406-4430. El Brokel Restaurant, siempre abierto, siempre delicioso.
Punta Canahits vive por ti. Si te quieres comunicar con nosotros, llama a nuestra emisora al 809-831-3333. 809-831-3333. 809-831-3333.
Okay. All right, welcome back to What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, and my next guest is quite interesting. Now, I'm fresh on this one too, so I'm excited to learn a lot more about him. He is from the Bahamas, and welcome Raymond Ramsey. How are you?
I am well, Christy. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I'm very interested in learning all about you, and so you are here in the Punta Cana area right now because you're doing some entertainment things.
Yes.
But before we go there and what brought you here, tell us a little bit about who is Raymond Ramsey.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. So Raymond Ramsey is a native of the Bahamas. I left the Bahamas, of course, in 1975. We moved to the United States, started in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, was reared pretty much in West Palm Beach and other surrounding cities within Palm Beach County. Became a young artist, of course. That was my passion, of course. And we can get into that, how that happened.
Yes.
But pretty much that's who I am today. I am Advisory Crime Council member for National Security in the Bahamas. I sit on their board. I equally do concert and promotions. And I'm a transformational life coach. That is my passion and my give back to people.
Wow. Very interesting. So there's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. So first, let's go back to your the days when you decided that you wanted to record, that you wanted to be a writer.
Yes.
How old were you?
So I guess I can say I was about maybe 13 years old.
What was your life like back then? Like, what was, your youth in that moment that brought you to that?
Yeah, well, I was raised not just in a marginalized community, but I was equally raised in a single parent home. And we know the stories when it comes to the United States, single parent homes, and what takes place, the atrocities sometimes, as well as some of the conditioning that takes place in various communities in any state. You take your pick in the United States. And so I don't want to say I was a victim of it, but I became a product of it. And as a result of that, I used to journal. And I found out that my journal became my best friend. So I would express whatever it was my inner self had going on at the time. And I just always wanted to tell my story. So that's what really prompted me to get into music.
So, but there's a big difference between journaling and making your words into song, right? Like there has to be there's something about it. Now, when you journaled and you originally started journaling to express your interest, to express your feelings and all of those things, was it in song poetry form, or was it after that something kind of hit you and was like, wait a minute, I can turn this into a song?
Yeah. Right, you're so right. So initially, it was just a form of expression, of course, to get what was in out, because I believe that what doesn't implode explodes, and so it was a way to express. But I realized that what was personal was actually universal, because most of the people that I met, they were actually going through the same thing, because we were all reared in that state, that condition, that environment. And so I started to tell my story, which was their story, and just add a little rhythm and rhyme to it. And I realized that music being a universal language, it became a form of expression to story tell.
So how did you go from journaling to storytelling to putting it to music to then recording?
Yeah, so there was a DJ. He's since passed. His name was DJ Rick. Rick Ship, they called him, and that was my DJ, of course. And he saw my talent, my gift. I would just go to his home, and he would dig in the crates and pull out some oldie goldies, and he would just spin them, and I may just bust a verse just off the top of my head, and he'd be like, you know what, that was pretty cool. And then I would be like, well, can you loop it for me? And so he would kind of loop it for me, right? Take out the first few loops, and then I would go into a real studio. I would hustle and get my few dollars up, and I would pay like $30 a session, and I would literally try to do like 3 takes, and the guy would record it on a reel-to-reel back then, and then we'll put it on a DAT, and then he would put it on a tape for me, and then I would put it in my jukebox and jump in my little 76 Buick Regal at the time, and I would play that all the way from Fort Lauderdale back to Palm Beach, just listening to the story now with sound behind it.
Wow. Yeah. So by the time that happened, a few years had passed. So you were then had to be at least 16 in order to be, when did you, how old were you when you went into the studio to record for the first time?
Yeah, so I was actually 16 years old when I went into the studio to record for the first time.
Now, how did you meet Rick?
Yeah, so Rick was just a local DJ.
Okay.
And back,
DJ
Florida,
like radio DJ?
Well, no, he was just a spin, on his turntables back then. Of course, everyone was like a Run DMC spin-off, right? And so, from Miami all the way down to Palm Beach, we had what we call block parties.
Okay.
And so we would have block parties. So there was guys like Rick, DJ Red. Those were the guys that would actually DJ in Boynton at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so then you have these recordings. What do you do next?
Yeah. So with the recordings, I realized that there was more to the music business. I started to study a little bit. I saw where a lot of the great artists, just like your LL Cool J's, your TLCs, those people, they were just kind of pretty much, manipulated by the system, right?
Right.
The music companies. And so I started to study it. And, after studying it, I went to Savannah State and I partnered with some guys who were actually going to school for engineering, business, and management. And so I knew I had the skill set. I had a few dollars to make it happen, but I needed a team to bring the dream to reality.
I love that. You know, and I think that's an important part because one of the things that a lot of people don't do is they just say, oh, well, I'm just going to jump right into it. You started studying the industry and realized, okay, if this is going to happen, it's not just, you know, you can't, there's no I in team, right?
No.
So you found the people that, you know, would work with you to make that happen.
Yes.
What did you study at Savannah State?
No, so I didn't go to Savannah State. I didn't go to college, actually.
But they were
in college.
Gotcha.
So I went to find the best, you know, those who actually going to school for their craft. Yeah.
And so then what did you do?
So we formulated a company. It was called Sloppy Tight Entertainment, right?
It was called what?
Sloppy Tight Entertainment.
Sloppy Tight Entertainment.
Yes. So,
where did that come from?
You know, I tell you, I was just sitting there one day and I just had this epiphany, and I realized that back then, and even still today, we're always looking for something that's catchy, or there's something like, you know, it's controversial. What do you mean sloppy and tight? How could something be sloppy and tight? And so it was something to catch the eye or the attention of the industry.
It's a good one.
Right, yeah. And so we did that, formulated the company, of course, and I released my first single when I was like 19 years old, my official single.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And how do you release an official single, especially back then? Like, there's no social media, TikTok. You're not going to become an instant overnight success. So what do you have to do? Because you have to get the radio to play you.
Yeah, so as a kid, I used to sell straw baskets. Bahamas being a tourist industry, I used to sell my grandmother's craft work, myself, older cousin. So I watched as we would go downtown, we would sell to the tourists, sell some to the vendors that were already there at wholesale price. So I was a young hustler from a kid. So I took the same principle and I applied it to my music. I would record the tapes, and then I would go from state to state, city to city, then eventually state to state, just selling the product. So I just used the principles that I learned from my grandmother when I was a kid. Yeah, and
so you would go from city to city. When you say sell the product, like give it to the DJs at the radio station to play it, or give it to, you know, other music producers.
Well, no, actually, just the community. Because I realize if you put it in the community's hands, then they will say what it is that they want.
Yeah.
You know, I realize that the power has always been in the people. You know, we've come to a place where we don't quite realize that.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's strength in numbers. And so my thing was to always get as many numbers behind me as I could. And I realized that if I did that, then the big execs would either come looking for me, or at least I would have already made my money back or doubled it just in the community.
So you would actually sell the tapes?
Yes, I would sell the tapes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And so then what happened?
Yeah, and so
you're out there, you're going from state to state, town to town, like doing all that.
I became reputable for, you know, just being in the industry. Again, I had Palm Beach County on my shoulders, so everyone was looking for me to make it. But then there was an unfortunate circumstance that took place that just kind of derailed everything.
Usually happens.
You know, it usually happens, you know. And so there was a hiatus, of course, in that space and time. I lost a lot of friends. I even almost lost myself. And again, I found myself in a very dark place. And as a result of that, I realized that I had to tap into something greater. Because even though I was expressing what it was that I had experienced from a kid up to the point to where I finally made it, I realized that there was still something going on the inside of me. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's that one thing that blocker that holds you back, that doesn't allow you to shift.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you shift out of that?
Yeah, so I realized that, you know, when we look at creation, right? And I mean, a lot of these things I wasn't taught. I was self-taught in many areas, and then studied, and then I realized that, oh, this is what this is, right? And that's how it is when you grow up in a socially fragmented environment, when you don't have the proper people or tools around to help you and teach you. And so my thing was just a cry for help to God, to be honest with you. Asking him not just to get me out of my situation, but to get me out of the broken state that I was in as a human being, you know, and he did just that. And so there was some epiphany, some experiences that took place, of course. And then I was back on my rebound and just headed in the right direction. And that's where the life coaching and everything else came into play. I was the first person on the gurney, if you would, that had to have surgery to realized that these things were wrong. And as a result of these things, here's how you make those things right.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is a life or death situation that brings you to that point of what is my purpose?
Yes.
What is my why? What is my whole goal here? And I think a lot of times, and it reminds me of something that someone said once. It was, I don't know, you know who Les Brown is?
Yeah, Les Brown. Miss Mamie's son.
Yeah,
that's what they always say. Miss Mamie's son. Yes. Remind me. Yeah.
He said once in a call that I was on, he says something about how, I don't quote it exactly, but something about, what hell is. And, and it's like, everyone's sitting there listening and it's like, oh, yeah, I guess so, and he's like, well, no, you really don't. He's like, hell is the day that you die and the person you are meets the person that you were supposed to be.
Oh, wow. Powerful.
That makes you really shift your like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, what? And then you imagine that, like you visualize that, because that's a big visual. And however you may envision heaven or whatever, like you're standing maybe in front of the pearly gates or whatever, and you're like, nice to meet you. And unfortunately, you did not become all you could have become.
Wow, that's powerful.
Right?
Yeah, that's really powerful.
So it makes you think different. Like it made me think differently every day.
Yeah.
Right? Of I would never want that to happen.
Exactly.
So it makes you live every day with that purpose.
So true.
No matter how tired you are.
Yeah. I think Miles Monroe also said something to that effect. He said that the graveyard is the most wealthiest place in the world. And the reason being is because there's so many songs that wasn't sung, books that wasn't written.
Yes.
Concept, dreams, and ideas that wasn't manifest, to your point with what Les said.
Yeah.
And I think it is so very important to release those gift, talent, dreams, concepts, ideas to the world. In one of my books that's coming out this year, I think I have a quote in there that says, the greatest discovery that you'll ever make is finding your true self.
Yes. Yes. And that's one of those things where a lot of times people go and like, how do I find my true self? Right?
Yeah.
And it's asking yourself those hard questions.
So true.
Like, what do I really want?
Yes.
And a lot of times before they even answer that question, they stop themselves like, but I'm too old, or it's that time is past, or, I have a family, or I have to do this, or, once I this, and someone else said, a lot of people have the case of the one size.
Yes.
I'll do that once I, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so
I'll
true.
do that once I, and once I never comes.
Never comes. That's right.
Yeah. And so you got back, and from there, after that dark moment in your life, where did you go after that?
Yeah, so after the dark moment, I was on a journey, constantly discovering my more superior versions of myself, if you would. And so I realized that, again, whatever's personal is universal. And so during those dark moments, I developed this passion for people. That's where life coaching actually came from.
Yeah.
And I realized that even though it was a passion for people, I was trying to help my younger self.
Yeah.
And I saw myself in other people. And so I've always wanted to be the me in someone else's life that I wish I had.
Have you ever wrote to your younger self?
Yeah, I wrote that's one of my practices.
Okay.
Yeah, the letter to the younger self.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes even role playing, going back to get him. I do that in some of my counseling groups where we sit there and we actually go back and get the younger self and let him or her know that it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I failed you or if anyone failed us, but now that I am this version of myself, I'll make sure that no one ever does it again. It's powerful.
It is very powerful.
Yeah.
It's very powerful because I remember the first time I did it, and it brings me back to that moment, and it's so powerful, and it's so releasing, right? Because you're visualizing yourself at 5 or 6 years old, right? And you're just, or then at a different stage, or at a different stage, and it just brings out that, you wish at that point you had somebody there to tell you what you're telling yourself at that point in time. It is powerful. So if people are out there listening and they've never done that before, I highly recommend it because it's also very releasing.
It really is. Yeah.
It is very releasing.
Yeah, I think the worst inmate or prisoner that you can be is a prisoner of your own mind, thoughts, and past traumas. You can break free as long as you breathe and there's hope.
Yes.
Just find a tribe or someone like yourself that can, help facilitate in that process.
Absolutely.
And just give them the tools to either manage it until they can eradicate it.
Yeah. I think that it's unfortunate because we're so conditioned by society that it is really hard to break free of that conditioning because it's a habit, right?
It is.
It's what we learn all of our life.
Yes.
So like you said, I didn't want to be I didn't want to be a victim of my situation, or I didn't want to call myself a victim of my situation. And you have two choices. Do you want to be a victim or a victor?
Yeah, so true.
Right?
Yes.
And you chose to be the second. Yes.
Yeah, most definitely.
So now that brings you to this point. And where did you obviously you were in the entertainment industry, but how did you get into the, entertainment, concert management?
Yeah, so it's a compilation of my sister's vision, of course, who's the owner of Kingdom Travel, and Just Live, which is a subsidiary of Kingdom Travel.
Okay.
All right. So Kingdom Travel was, again, the travel agency because she was in the airline business and hotel and the whole nine, and she learned a lot. And then she realized that most people in the corporate world, they work all the days of their life for the most part and never really take a chance on living, just living. And that's where Just Live came from. It's like, just live, just enjoy you, because you're so busy taking care of everything and everybody. But who takes care of you? And so it was her vision. Of course, I'm the vice president of both companies. And so my industry life in the music business culminated with her vision for travel, festivals, entertainment. We just merged together. And we also have another partner / brother who has a company by the name of Foreign Currency. And so we all just came together and we just made music together in terms of business, the ideas, and just express that to the world. Yes.
To help other people enjoy life. Nice. That is, So tell me some of the things that you guys have done. I mean, I've looked at the website and I've seen some of the festivals and things that you guys have created, but the audience hasn't. So what are some of the things?
Yeah. So outside of COVID, we literally do like 60 plus events a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think our largest was right here in Punta Cana, where we did like 1,900 people. We literally imported because we have relations with the hotels. So we don't just do like a concert. We literally do a concert
vacation
festival, 4 days, where we package with do packages. Of course, there's all white parties, comedy shows. There's a yacht party, and then of course all those things lead up to the final event, which is the concert. And so we've done, of course, we've done Burna Boy. That's the African giant, of course. Did him in Nassau, Bahamas. We've done Paris Hyman, Jamaican artist, of course. We did Rick Ross, Pressure, Jaheim, El DeBarge. Yeah. So we've done quite a few artists, and there's so many more. Yeah, that's under our belt. Yeah, but that's normally what we do. We had not so much a residence, but we had, we're respected even in Vegas.
Nice.
Where we've had our opportunities to have something in several events in Vegas for Memorial Day weekend.
Great.
Yeah, so Dubai,
wow.
Carousel, just to name a few, the Bahamas, Jamaica, Dominican Republic. So we're well-traveled, well-known around the world. Our company is. And so, we just love to bring that element to wherever we come, creating cultural experiences as opposed to just another vacation.
Yes. And I think that's important.
It's very important.
Because a lot of people come here and they're like, don't go off the resort. Don't do anything,
exactly.
And it's like, if you have the right organized people in the right organization doing the right things, you can really enjoy living and seeing the real culture.
So true.
Yeah.
Very important.
So what are you, Can you talk about what you're planning for coming up?
Okay, so currently we're working on a concert here in a few months, and I thank Punta Cana Hits for just being a major contributor to what it is that we're doing. Franklin has just been not just a wonderful host, but friend. And he's just a wealth of knowledge and resources. And so we're planning to do a concert / festival where we're going to bring the rap artist Rick Ross. He's been, he's in demand among many of, the residents here in Punta Cana.
Yeah.
And so we're going to bring him in. What we believe in doing is, in terms of respecting the culture, we also want to use some of the local talent to grace the stage with this multi-recording artist. In hopes of them having or getting some type of recognition.
Yeah.
And so just respecting the culture, we're going to use some local artists, use, of course, the local businesses. We love to do B2B. We love to bolster the economy, of course, and give most of the locals and vendors here, be it the sound, the clubs, an opportunity for the economy to thrive even more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's an ecosystem.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
And so that's the important part, because a lot of times people come in and go out.
Yes.
They bring their own people, they bring their own things, they do their own stuff. But, you're looking at something that is going to, be helpful all around.
So true.
And I think it's incredible.
Awesome.
That's what's coming up.
Yes.
Right? What is your long-term vision?
Yeah.
Like, when that moment comes, what would you want people to say that you accomplished, or the person that you are or were? I don't want to say in the end, but
I get it.
that you would want, even if they're in the other room, like, oh, Raymond, he's
Yeah. So, again, we don't want to say the end, but even presently speaking, I always want to impact people's lives. And I realize that, we have this adage or famous saying where we say love always wins. And I believe that if I'm made in the reflection of God, his image and his likeness, and the Bible teaches us that God is love, then I think the most that I can give to anyone or contribute to their life is love, whatever that look like, and whatever wounded areas they may be in. It may be a word of advice, or sometimes just inspiration and encouragement. And so I believe that if I continue to emanate that from within, and just convey that to everyone that I come in contact with, I believe I've done my job. Being a conduit medium by which he can just flow through. And ultimately that is my goal, to just be a conduit for him to do what he purposed before the foundations of the world to do in me and through me to the world.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Like, people sometimes don't understand that we're just, we're just a vessel.
Yes, so true.
And it's just, we just do what he tells us. And it's being able to, there's nothing easier to do than smile at someone or say hello or, show love or caring.
So true.
And so when we think about these things, I think a lot of times people think it has to be difficult, but to do something kind doesn't mean you need to have a lot of money to donate or anything like that. Just help somebody with a bag, or maybe somebody that just has nobody else to talk to and needs a listen, or I don't know. There's so many things you can do, and just to make the world a better place for one person each day.
So true.
So imagine if everybody did one kind thing every day for one person next to them.
It'll be awesome.
It'd be a very different world. Huh?
So true, right?
Yeah.
I tell you. Wow.
Yeah.
Miles Monroe, again, just quoted him. He wrote a song before his passing. He said, if you want a brand new world, you have to have brand new people. And if you want brand new people, you got to have Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And so the God element can't be ruled out.
No.
Because again, when we look at him, that is the standard. Now, we don't have to be perfect. I don't think he ever required us to be perfect, but consistent.
Yes.
You know, and whatever it was that you.
I think he's well aware that we are not perfect.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
if anybody knows, he knows,
yes.
right? Yeah.
But I think, you know, and that just reminds me of the song, Michael Jackson song, my favorite song, "Man in the Mirror."
Oh man,
right?
I love it. So true.
You want to
pick the better song,
right?
Yeah,
you want to make a
right.
change.
There
Start
we
with
go.
yourself.
Start with yourself.
Yes,
Powerful.
100%.
Awesome.
So how can people get in contact with you if they want to know more about events, if they want to know more about you or the work that you do?
Awesome.
Or your books that are coming out,
Yeah.
right?
So personally, again, you can go to Facebook. My name is Ramond, RAMOND, RAMSEY. Or you can reach out to me on WhatsApp. That is area code 242-808-6996. If you want to follow us in terms of the events, we're at JUSTLIVE. That's JUSTLIVE, LIVE. Just Live on Instagram.
All right.
Yes.
Very good.
Awesome.
So nice to meet you and have this interview with you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another episode of What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio. Until next time. Bye.
Cada pequeño negocio tiene una gran historia de esfuerzo, de sueños hechos realidad, de personas que se levantan cada día con determinación, iluminando el futuro con su trabajo. Porque detrás de cada emprendimiento hay una energía que lo impulsa. Descubre cómo la energía confiable transforma vidas y hace crecer los negocios de toda nuestra comunidad. Conoce sus historias en cepen.com.do. Cepen. Energía que cambia vidas.
Aquí tenemos toda la música, noticias y programas en vivo que buscas en la radio. Descarga ya nuestra aplicación Punta Cana Hits en Play Store y App Store. Punta Cana Hits en Play Store y App Store. Punta Cana Hits vive por ti.
Cada pequeño negocio tiene una gran historia de esfuerzo, de sueños hechos realidad, de personas que se levantan cada día con determinación, iluminando el futuro con su trabajo. Porque detrás de cada emprendimiento hay una energía que lo impulsa. Descubre cómo la energía confiable transforma vidas y hace crecer los negocios de toda nuestra comunidad. Conoce sus historias en cepen.com.do. Cepen. Energía que cambia vidas.
¿Buscas expandir tus horizontes en República Dominicana? El éxito de tu negocio requiere las conexiones correctas y la información más precisa. Llega Guía Empresarial RD. La plataforma definitiva donde los proveedores, emprendedores y grandes corporaciones se encuentran en un solo lugar. Todo lo que tu empresa necesita está a un clic de distancia. Optimiza tus